My name is Brian Worrell, District 4 City Councilor, and I am the Chair of the Boston City Council Committee on Ways and Means. Today is April 25th, 2024. This hearing is being recorded. It is also being live streamed at boston.gov/city-council-tv and broadcast on Xfinity Channel 8, RCN Channel 82, FiOS Channel 964. The Council's budget review process will encompass a series of public hearings beginning in April and running through June. We strongly encourage residents to take a moment to engage in this process by giving testimony for the record. You can do this in several ways. One, attend one of our hearings and give public testimony. We will take public testimony at the end of each departmental hearing and also at our next hearing dedicated to public testimony, which will be held on Tuesday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. The full hearing schedule is on our website at boston.gov/council-budget. You can give testimony in person here in the chamber or virtually via Zoom. For in-person testimony, please come to the chamber and sign up on the sheet near the entrance. For virtual testimony, you can sign up using our online form on our Council Budget Review website or by emailing the committee at ccc.wm@boston.gov. When you are called to testify, please state your name and affiliation or residence and limit your comments to a few minutes to ensure that all comments and concerns can be heard. 2, email your written testimony to the committee at ccc.wm@boston.gov. Or 3, submit a 2-minute video of your testimony through the form on our website. For more information on the City Council budget process and how to testify, please visit the City Council's budget website at boston.gov/council-budget. Today's hearing is on dockets number 067 through 0672. Orders for the FY25 operating budget, including annual appropriations for departmental operations for the school department and for other post-employment benefits. Docket number 0673 through 0675. Orders for capital fund transfers appropriations. Docket number 0676 through 0678. Orders for the capital budget, including loan orders and lease purchase agreements. These matters were sponsored by Mayor Michelle Wu and referred to the committee on April 10th, 2024. Today, I'm joined by my council colleagues, Councilor Fernandez Anderson, Council President Louis Jen, Councilor Flynn, Councilor Santana, Councilor Pepin, Councilor Braden, and Councilor Mejia, and Councilor Coletta. Today's panelists consist of testing on behalf of the administration. Oh, and I also want to acknowledge that we've also been joined by Councilor Weber and Councilor Fitzgerald. I would like to now introduce today's panelists testifying on behalf of the administration. Chief of Equity and Inclusion, Chief Solis, Executive Director of Mayor's Office of Immigrant Advancement, Executive Director Nguyen, Executive Director of Mayor's Office of Language Access, Executive Director Wong, Commissioner of Office, Mayor's Office of Disabilities, Commissioner McCosh, and Executive Director of Mayor's Office of Fair Housing, Executive Director Terrell. The floor is now yours for a presentation.
Good afternoon, Council. My role here is short today. I just wanted to sort of re-ground us on what the Equity and Inclusion Cabinet is. On Tuesday, we were here with LGBTQ advancement, Black male advancement, and I also presented for Women's Advancement and the E&I office. Today, you have the rest of the cabinet here. I will kick it off just to make sure that we are all aware about some of the plans for the Human Rights Commission that is also meant to be testifying today. We are not seeking any new funding. What we are doing for FY24, the rest of FY24, is simply engaging in a strategic planning process that we will be engaging you all in as well as community members. But I just wanted to make sure that you are all, that we, I can say that for the record, and you all have access to the information once we have it. But with that, I'll pass it off to Jennifer Rivera-Wong, who's our Director of Language Access, then Commissioner McCosh. I'm assuming you'll pause for questions. Does that make sense? Okay. Monique, and then we'll wrap it up with Professor Terrell.
Awesome. And you're able to take any questions on the Human Rights Commission, Chief?
There are not many details to give, but yes, I'm happy to take questions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for having me today. Jennifer Vivar Wong, Director of Language Access. I forgot I have the clicker. So our mission for our office is to ensure that everything at the city is accessible for residents who speak a language other than English and residents with a disability. And so our priority this year has been focusing on expanding system-wide access across all parts of the city, ensuring that there are culturally competent translations and interpretation services coming out of our office, and ensuring that residents are aware of the rights to these services at the city and also the services coming out of the offices. So why this matters, at the City of Boston, there is around 15% of constituents who identify as speaking a language other than English, and that is meaning that they need language access services. This does not encompass multilingual speakers. And there is 12% of folks who identify as having a disability. And this picture here, it was from registry. We were able to help this Ukrainian couple file for a marriage intention in their preferred language. So this is just a brief history of our office, and I'm just going to take away the big points. So for folks who may be new, we were a program back during the pandemic under Neighborhood Services, and it wasn't until 2022 where we became an actual standalone department. And it wasn't until just last year that we actually became fully staffed. So this is a visual representation of our team. And you can also see that the work that we do is very complex. So we have a couple of different, I want to say divisions, but not really. A&F, which is a lot of our contract holding. So for context, we are centralized and decentralized. Centralized in the sense that we house all the contracts, all the funding for language access, but decentralized where we approach the responsibility of providing access to all departments. We also have folks who focus on training and development, and that is ensuring that all of our departments are aware of how to provide these services to constituents. We also have our compliance, which is related to more hand-on-hand collaboration with departments to create language and communications access plans and ensure that all their services are accessible. And then we focus on policy, research, translation, and that varies from research on keeping up with other municipalities, the federal government, what's happening in language access, to data on the needs from constituents. And in terms of our office and the work, it is very complex and multi-layered. So just a visual representation of the different partners that we have. And this ranges from, of course, the city departments, and the Equity Cabinet is our main collaborators, but of course, all of the departments, universities, which we partner with, ensuring pipelines for internships, specifically for DACA, TPS, refugee students. We also work closely with CBOs and nonprofits. We also sit on many networks that focus intentionally on language access. We have communications with the MBTA as well in terms of access. And we, of course, have our vendors and other agencies and partners. And then for fiscal year 24, some of our accomplishments relate to, we recently published 19 departmental language access plans, and that is departments that outlined publicly how they're going to be accessible for their services. They identified vital documents, and all of that is translated in 11 languages on our website. We also began a multilingual City Hall project that was in partnership with the parking clerk, treasury, auditing, assessing, registry, all the teller windows that you see on the second floor. And our priority was ensuring that anyone that was coming to these most front-facing services were getting access as either in their language, by in-language multilingual staff, or through our interpretation services, whether that be spoken or ASL. We also published a public-facing complaint process, which is for anyone to be able to call us, file online, walk into our office to file a complaint regarding any language access or communications access related services, which is separate from Disability Commission that has their ADA grievances. And then we also started an iPad long-term rentals pilot program. In a nutshell, it is to fill the gaps in technology for access. We were able to purchase iPads that we pay data for and partner with departments who needed these iPads to provide access. An example is the Boston Fire Department that installs bed shaker alarms, and that is for constituents who are deaf. And so in order to communicate when they're doing installations, they take an iPad with them and pull up an interpreter live on that screen. And then the last thing is also our partnership that we did along with MOIA and Driving Families Forward when the Working Families Mobility Act went live, ensuring that that information was available in different languages. We also partnered with the RMV to ensure that the Haymarket, DMV or RMV, whichever one that is, had iPad as well and access to our interpretation service for specifically also ASL. And then, of course, our partnership with MIRA in support of the State Language and Inclusion Act. So I wanted to share some data. In terms of our trainings, we have been able to date train around 3,000 of our employees on language access, policies, the obligations to serve constituents accessibly. We also have been trained 3,000 employees roughly as well on how to provide on-demand interpretation, and that is interpretation over the phone or through VRI. We also partner with a couple of different organizations as well to come do trainings themselves. So we partner with the Perkins School for the Blind, who comes and does an orientation to space and providing guide assistance. And we're hoping to expand that to do that on a more specific, I'm sorry, let me find my words. Finding departments who may want like a tailored version of that training for their services. We also have trainings around deaf culture, unmasking neurodiversity, and other trainings that we do. And then thanks for the investments that we got last year, we were able to buy additional equipment for simultaneous interpretation. And so right now we have currently 21 cases that can serve up to 420 constituents and 42 interpreters. And those are what usually folks use at in-person meetings for simultaneous interpretation. And of course, we have 38 iPads and 11 that are on short-term basis, so anyone can rent them out. In terms of usage of service, you'll see on the screen there is data on funding spent. So as you can see, there has been a progression of spending, specifically in all of our categories: translation, interpretation. The interpretation figure does also include ASL. And then we added an additional graph there that also shows last year we were able to start tracking how many constituents were submitting requests to departments. So when departments let us know that they're requiring an accommodation, they can also tell us which one of that was by a constituent. So as you can see, that also has gone up as well. And then for fiscal year 25, the investment that we're excited about this year is continuing the work that we've been doing on the second floor with the tellers. In addition to the iPad work and interpretation work, we also partnered with the Disability Commission to open the wheelchair accessible teller downstairs, which is for parking tickets, if I'm not mistaken. And we're hoping to kind of grab the ideas of other folks downstairs and use that funding to expand even more, whether that be from additional signage to transitioning to other devices like Translate Live, which is kind of an alignment, and I'm going to keep it brief, of our strategy with BPS, of making sure that the technology that's being used at the BPS schools for language access is also making its way over to the city so that they can recognize all the tools that are universal. And then our other investment this year is the expansion of our contracts. So one thing that we've been doing since the pandemic is working with community organizations to ensure quality of interpretation services, but mainly quality of translation services. So we're hoping this year to expand our contracts with, and be able to work with more CBOs and nonprofits to help us accomplish our overall mission of ensuring everything is culturally appropriate. Thank you.
Do disabilities next.
Okay, can you pull up my slides? That's the last slide. Go to the beginning. Great, thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Worrell, President Louisiane, and honorable members of the City Council. I want to thank you for providing me with this opportunity to present information about my department's work and our proposed budget. I know a lot of you, and I'm looking forward to getting to know the ones who I have not met yet and who are newly elected, and welcome to the council. So I'd like to talk a little bit first about our history and mission. If we can go to the next slide. Great. So the Mayor's Commission for Persons with Disabilities was established as a city office in 1979. So we're one of the older departments in the city. Our mission is to increase opportunities for people with disabilities by facilitating full and equal participation in all aspects of life. This is done by reducing architectural, procedural, attitudinal, and communication barriers. Our department head is designated to oversee the City of Boston's compliance with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And we'll go to the next slide. So this is a snapshot of my team. We have 9 staff total, and I like to say we're a small but mighty team. They are incredibly dedicated, responsive staff who are dedicated to our mission and to the City of Boston. I serve as the department head, which is also the Disability Commissioner and ADA Title II Coordinator for the city. That is a federal designation. All municipalities with 50 or more employees are required to establish an ADA coordinator, and I serve in this role. In that role, I oversee compliance with the ADA, and I process grievances, like Jennifer mentioned, anyone who files an ADA grievance thinking that they were discriminated against by the city, I will process those complaints and resolve them to the best of our ability. I have 2 direct reports, a chief of staff. She oversees our admin team. She's a talented thought partner with expertise in policy, and she oversees 4 staff. We have a parking program manager who manages the on-street accessible parking. We have constituent service specialists, outreach and engagement, and a training specialist who I'll talk more about in a few minutes. We also have an architectural access team made up of a director and 2 architectural access specialists. We also oversee an advisory board made up of 13 residents who are representative of the disability community, and we call them our eyes and ears of the neighborhoods. We'll go to the next slide. So to talk to you a little bit about our work. In general, we lead the city's collective efforts toward equity and inclusion. We serve historically underrepresented population of people with disabilities. But we also like to say that people with disabilities aren't a separate section of society. Anyone could become disabled at any time, whether it's permanent, temporary, or anything in between. Our department moved into the Equity and Inclusion Cabinet 2 years ago, and now we elevate disability as part of everything we do with equity and inclusion. Our goals are to implement systemic departmental access in all city programs, policies, and infrastructure. Our office doesn't build streets or renovate City Hall buildings or anything like that, but we do make sure all the departments, everything they do is access is considered. We also increase opportunities for people with disabilities in things like facilitating work with the city, facilitating access to schools and parks and recreation. So we hold 3 main priorities. The first is accessible infrastructure, which is sidewalks, streets, libraries, parks, and playgrounds. We work on accessible policies and programs, things like the Human Resources Department, Elections Commission, libraries who need temporary policy when an elevator is broken, things like that. We also strive to create accessible neighborhoods. This is everything from reviewing private development plans to housing to outdoor dining and Main Street small businesses. Our main roles within the city are internal compliance consultants. My staff and I are subject matter expertise, so we welcome departments to contact us when they have questions. We also are a liaison to the disability community. We've established trust and 2-way communication through our years-long relationship with the community. And we serve as legislative advocates for certain policies at the state level and the federal level that would benefit people with disabilities. And a new thing that we've added in the last year is training. We do internal and external training on subjects related to disability and for empowerment and engagement. Next slide. And I want to tell you a little bit about why this work matters. American Community Survey data shows that 1 in 12 12% of Boston's population has a disability. However, this figure only represents residents. It doesn't represent people who come into our city daily, like commuters, tourists, people with temporary disabilities, and people who don't count themselves as disabled. So that number is deceiving. Also, estimates say that 100% of the general population may have a temporary disability as they age. Next slide. And just to talk a little bit about from vision and impact, these are some of the big things that we did over the past year. We supported multiple city departments by providing ADA and AAB technical assistance, training, and tools. We engaged residents with disabilities at annual events. We empowered constituents and Boston Public School students. We spearheaded an outreach campaign promoting safety and accessibility for pedestrians, and we strengthened the city's ability to work with disabled residents by offering trainings and resources. And some of those specific big accomplishments are, we held our biggest ADA Day event ever. We engaged over 200 residents, 20 disability community agencies, and 20 city offices. We also, in FY24, we hired a training specialist, and so far they have provided 15 trainings to multiple city departments on disability issues. We worked, again, on systemic access by convening an interdepartmental working group to address areaways, a problem that's been consistent in the city for many years. We also facilitated financial empowerment by training 12 Boston Public School special education teachers, and they've implemented this into their curriculum. And then we launched a large safety campaign called Boston Breaks. It's to emphasize awareness and safety on our streets for pedestrians with disabilities. Next slide. And this is just a snapshot of our budget from last year. Our main piece of the budget is staff salaries. So as you can see, they take up the majority of our funding. Also, our ADA Day event is a big event. We use this not only as a celebration of the Americans with Disabilities Act, but also as a way to connect residents with services and programs. And then we spent the remainder of our budget on language access. We collaborate closely with Jennifer's team on American Sign Language and CART services, and we split the budget between our office and LCA to pay for those services. And then I just want to talk briefly about our priorities for FY25. So next year, we are planning to update our transition plan. Oh, next slide. So we're going to update the ADA transition plan to make it more transparent and accessible to the public. We will be providing training in ADA Title III for public accommodations. We're going to work with the Main Streets businesses to help them do barrier removal for free and low cost. And we're also working on some more financial empowerment and economic mobility tools and trainings. And then we will also continue our 4 main events. We have a community forum every spring to listen to residents' concerns. We hold our ADA Day event, again, to connect residents with services. We have Disability Mentoring Day in the fall to facilitate employment opportunities. And we hold a civic engagement event in the fall also to empower residents with disabilities to vote and get engaged in government. And then the last slide is just a picture of some of our civic and community engagement activities from the last year. Thank you.
We'll just do the whole thing. Yeah, we'll keep going.
Keep going? Okay. Can you pull up immigrant advancement, please? Very fun. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, honorable members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today about the vital work of the Mayor's Office for Immigrant Advancement, which I'm honored to lead as an immigrant myself. Our mission is to build a true city of belonging, where immigrants from all backgrounds feel welcomed, included, and empowered to pursue our dreams in Boston. We aim to uplift the beauty, brilliance, and power of our vibrant communities
across the city, the place we all call home. As immigrants, we play indispensable roles across every sector that keeps Boston running and thriving. On the main streets, we are the entrepreneurs creating jobs and driving economic vitality. In the hospitals and schools, we are the healthcare heroes and teachers providing essential services. We are the workers sustaining the daycares, homes, restaurants, hotels, transportation, and so much more. From Fenway to the Celtics, through our 22 neighborhoods to City Hall, the ingenuity and talents of immigrants elevate Boston's standing as a world-class city. The story of our city cannot be told without recognizing the outsized role immigrants play in writing that narrative through our daily lives and labors. The $3.4 million investment we seek will allow our office to better support thousands of constituents next year. We want to ensure full participation in civic life, access to key resources, and have a voice to shape policies and impact our homes and our families. And our office, we've been around for 25 years. Thankfully, we were codified through the work of Julie Mejia, Council Mejia last year. And we also represent 1 in 4 Bostonians. So immigrants in Boston are lively and thriving. Let me move it forward. I think the clicker is not working. Are you able to scroll back? And this is a picture of us with our Immigrants Lead Boston cohort from the previous year. And thank you for the advocacy of different city councilors over the year as we expand the program. Oops. Here it is. Immigrants represent 1 in 4 Bostonians in Boston since 2001. And then the top 10 languages, top 10 countries are represented in our immigrant communities are very diverse. We're actually one of the most diverse immigrant communities in the nation, as the majority of folks in other cities represent one country. We have up to 10 countries in our majority.
So the clicker is broken, so just say next slide and we'll change it for
Okay,
you.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, next slide. So our role in the city, we are liaisons, so we consider ourselves a bridge for immigrant communities to City Hall. We're an advocate, so we lend our voice to communities to advocate and advance the lives of immigrants to the mayor and the administration. We are a direct programmer and partner with our communities to serve immigrants. So we work with nonprofit organizations throughout the city to scale the need of immigrants in our infrastructure. And we're a consultant to the mayor to advise on things pertaining to immigrants. Next, please. And this is a snapshot of all of our programs and initiatives. I don't have time to go through them all, but the links are there for you all to explore more. But the highlights for us are our Immigrants Lead Boston program, which is our civic academy that we graduate a cohort about 20 per year. But this year, we're really excited to actually have a cohort, which is our largest cohort of 40 people, and first time being multilingual, thanks to the work of Councilor Coletta last year. She advocated for us to do work in Spanish, and we're also doing Haitian Creole as well. We're really excited about that. Our Citizenship Day is actually coming up this Saturday, where over 400 people will be applying for citizenship, which is one of our flagship activities. Next slide. And here is a snapshot of our team right now. We have about 10 staff, and we're hiring for 4 more. We'll be able to select folks in the next month or so. We're expanding to scale the need. We have a policy advisor to ensure that someone keeps track of all the policy that happens in multiple levels, from the federal, local, and state, that impacts immigrants. We have a programs manager that ensures that constituent services are met and works with a very vibrant and fast-moving team to meet the needs of constituents, which also includes our 2 rapid response liaisons that, thanks to the work of Councilor Lujan for advocating for that last year, we were able to provide more access to Haitian language capacity in our team to respond to new migrants. Next slide, please. And here's a quick snapshot of our diversity. We have a great language capacity. We have Spanish speakers, Haitian Creole, Somali, Vietnamese, and French in our team. And then at the bottom right, you can also see the race and gender diversity in our team as well. Next slide. Here is a snapshot of all of our accomplishments in 2024 and FY24. So we're still doing the work. So this Friday, we're excited to help 400 people become citizens. Last year, we were able to add 175 ESOL seats through 9 partner sites. We were able to serve 9,000 folks through our different legal access work and through 13 different sites. We have a community health program called Weaving Wellbeing that ensures that there's non-clinical mental health supports in immigrant communities. And we answered over 2,000 calls and inquiries to constituents in the office. And we also were able to support 300, next slide please, 350 students through Immigrant Youth Advancement Program, regardless of status, for them to be able to access work experience and academic year support. We were able to support new arrivals, 300 folks in the past year, through the shelter system, families, and individuals. We were able to advocate and able to move forward with developing our Immigrants Lead Boston program to continue with community organizing. And we are also able to train over 270 people on equity and inclusion, immigrant support, and vicarious trauma through the city and external partners. Next slide. And here is a breakdown of our budget. You can see most of our budget is designated to contractual services and grants. So that means that we partner with contractors and nonprofit organizations to do our work. There's no way for our office, for our size, to be able to meet the needs of the entire immigrant community. So we must partner with the community to get the work done. And 1/3 of our budget is dedicated to personnel. Next slide, please. And here's a snapshot of the impact of the funding that we're seeking and what we aim to do with it. So our domain of Pathways to Justice, we have two subcategories, integration and advancement, and policy implementation and enforcement. And we are serving a few thousand people through that domain. And under community well-being and mental health, we're seeking to support up to 300 residents through our community partners who are experimenting and uplifting the ways that they care for immigrant communities every single day through non-clinical approaches. Through our Immigrant Youth Advancement Program, we are going to serve over 1,200 youth in gaining work experience, but also accessing tuition equity that's passed in the state in the last year. We're aiming to enforce that and help implement that policy. And then $500,000 will be dedicated to our workforce trainings and job pathways for immigrants, supporting immigrant entrepreneurs and folks to be able to get their immigrant rights, workers' rights access, and we'll be able to get more seats for ESL students, 500 seats. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, and city councilors. For the record, my name is Robert Terrell, the Executive Director of the Boston Fair Housing Commission. I'm waiting for the slide to come up. There we go. Boston Fair Housing Commission was created by City Council ordinance in 1982. So we have been in consistent operation for over 40 years. The major objective of the Fair Housing Commission is to fight housing discrimination throughout the city of Boston and to enforce all of our fair housing laws, of which there are several, not just our own city ordinance. Next slide. Yep, major activities are in 5 categories. Investigations and enforcement, which include intakes, complaint processing, fair housing investigations, case determination, which is very important because that's where we decide whether an infraction of the law has in fact taken place, settlements, administrative hearings where our commissioners actually hear the cases, and commission orders. That's where people get justice from the Fair Housing Commission. Education and outreach, we conduct fair housing trainings, we participate in outreach events, and in fact, we're engaging in a new public relations campaign to raise the profile of the Commission, with the major objective being getting more people to file complaints. We know for every one person that files a complaint, 6 or 7 do not. And we're trying to change that by reaching those 6 or 7 people. Public policy and special projects, which include the assessment of fair housing, which is a major document that seeks to embed fair housing values and principles in everything we do in city government. Also in the future, we're going to be amending our city ordinance and our commission regulations. They have not been amended in many, many years, and we need to make some substantive changes there. We hope to launch a fair housing testing program in the near future. This is essential to the commission's work, because by sending out testers to follow up on a complaint that has been filed, that way we can get direct evidence that discrimination has occurred, and it will greatly strengthen our investigations. Litigation, there are moments when we have to go into court to defend an order of the commission. And this is something very important for counselors to know. We do have the power to utilize temporary restraining orders to hold up the sale or rental of a unit if it's under investigation. However, people need to file with us as soon as humanly possible, because if they wait too long, the unit may be off the market. So it's essential that when people think that they've been discriminated against, we know from previous studies there's a 60% chance they actually have been. So please have your constituents do that early. Next slide, please. This is just a breakdown of the 14 protected classes that we are enforced to protect. 7 of them are federal, and 7 of them are state under our state civil rights law. Under our ordinance, we cover all 14. In the near future, one of the reasons we want to amend our ordinance is we want to add a couple of new protected classes. Next slide, please. This is a flow chart of our current staffing pattern. We have 9 full-time employees right now. We're searching for a director of investigations. That's the last spot we need to fill. Next slide, please. A listing of our accomplishments for 2024, for this fiscal year, at least so far. It's been a tough year because we had a couple of our investigators left the commission. One went to work at the federal government as an employment discrimination investigator, and the other went to law school in DC. So we've been working sort of short-staffed all year long, but now we're finally getting to the point where we're just about fully staffed. So admittedly, our numbers are a little off from previous numbers, but we still have 2 months left in the fiscal year, and we think we can close the year fairly strongly. Goals for, next slide, please. Our goals for fiscal year 25. We hope to have 200 intakes and 100 fair housing complaints. And most importantly out of this list are the commission orders. We hope to get 10 commission orders put forth where remedies are served and people get justice at the end of the investigatory process. That concludes my brief introduction. I look forward to the dialogue with council members.
Thank you again to the panel for being here, for all the work that you do. Now I'll turn it over to my council colleagues. We're going to take one out of order. Council Fitzgerald, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Councilor Well, and I apologize. I have a family, because of the late start to the hearing, I have a family matter I have to attend to. So thank you very much for taking this out of order. Very quick question. I know it's tough and we don't have a lot of time and there's 5 different departments here essentially, right? And so it's tough to get to all of you. So I'll just have a question for fair housing and disability, if that's okay. The rest of you, everyone does fantastic work and we're just here to support you in whatever way we can. So thank you very much for coming and presenting. As a freshman counselor, obviously a lot of this is new to me, so that's all great information we're intaking. In the fair housing, the goals that you set there, I see if the numbers that were just up there about, wanting to get 10% of the commission filed or the 100 files. How can you set that goal not knowing? Is there enough out there, complaints out there where you can say we have way too much work to do and if we just get to 100, we'll be happy, right? And that's a good amount of chunk given the crew, the team that you have currently?
I hope we're fortunate enough to process 100 complaints or 90 complaints over the next year. The previous fiscal year, we closed out 74 investigations. 62 were federal, 12 were state. We were ranked by HUD to be the most productive FAP agency in New England. I want us to be the top in the United States. I want to be #1 in the country. Why? Because as I mentioned earlier, for every person that files a complaint, there are 6 or 7 out there who didn't. And they didn't either because they don't know about our fair housing laws, or they fear retaliation, or they're in the middle of a housing search and they feel they don't have time to stop and file a complaint and go through a whole investigatory process. So we want to encourage people to come forward, and counselors should know this. If somebody comes to you with a fair housing complaint and they don't want to file the complaint as an individual person, if you simply give us the facts and the information, we can file a commission-initiated complaint. We have that authority through our ordinance and through what we call substantial equivalency. We can file our own complaint as a commission and follow up on that case. So we're trying to do everything we can through our education and outreach work. In fact, we just did an event yesterday to encourage people to come forward. And one other thing in that regard, a person may feel that they've been discriminated against and file a complaint. But if any of you or any person suspects that a friend or a relative or someone you know is being injured by a discriminatory act, you can file a complaint. You're a church organization, you're a neighborhood association, or you as an individual, anyone can step forward and file a complaint.
Thank you, Director. How many complaints do we get annually? If 100 is the goal to process, out of how many are we, what percentage overall is that 100?
We hope that we can close out 90 fair housing complaints. That's our goal for next year.
Right.
That's our goal. Now,
how many complaints come in?
Well, a lot of folks come to us. Unfortunately, they come to us for other housing issues that we don't cover, like it's a landlord-tenant dispute or it's an ISD issue, and we refer them to the proper agencies. Our intake process is designed to figure out which circumstances are fair housing cases and which ones are other kinds of housing issues. We hope to sift out of that 90 to 100 actual fair housing cases.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Commissioner McCosh, I know that we will have a hearing in the future around something that I had proposed earlier, and we've sort of discussed that around the handicap, accessible parking placards and pregnancy stuff. So I will save any of those questions for that hearing in the future. And just want to make sure that you know we appreciate all you do, and and in that process, it is not the intent. I just want to clarify again, and I will do this in the future, that it is not just being pregnant itself because that's a lot of the feedback I think you've gotten and that I've gotten is that all you have to do is now be pregnant and you get a accessible parking pass. Right, we understand that's not the case. I just want to clarify again. But I look forward to working with you on that and making sure it abides by all the rules that you guys lay out and that we're doing it in the right way, that it does not impede on those that are currently have the accessibility placards.
Thank you.
But again, I do apologize sincerely. I have to go because you guys really do fantastic work. And Chair, thank you very much for letting me go first. I apologize. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Council Fitzgerald. Council Fernandez Anderson, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I'll just go in the order that you guys presented and ask questions. My first question is, with translation services expenses, costs increasing, approximately 71% or 71.9 exactly, 79.2 from FY22 to FY24. How does your department hopefully strategically manage this budget to ensure that you meet the need?
Yeah, so I also want to flag that this also includes our ARPA funds. So we also have separate ARPA funds, and it should be in the packet. We received around $600,000 in ARPA funding, which is going to be spended by next 2025. So that includes that. There's also a huge rise in funding because with the departmental plans that we're doing this year, we basically were going to departments and proactively finding all the vital, well, I'm going to be probably Muslim, so I'm going to be all the front-facing vital documents that they had and translating those in 11 languages. So a lot of the increases in terms of translation is because we are intentionally translating vital documents from departments. So we see it's going to probably continue as we go through every department, but that is mainly why there's a big increase, and also because we have ARPA funding in there as well, which is separate.
The rising costs, the increase that I was speaking to is the cost of translation, cost of services.
I'm sorry, I guess I didn't understand the question.
The cost of services is going up.
So it's not the, so I apologize. So this should just show the amount of spending that we've been increasing every year that is being used by the departments.
Thank you. I'll talk to you.
Okay, my apologies.
No worries, no worries. So I guess just about your services, I understand for the city, but what about the council? We have a lot of services that we provide as well, community meetings, civic associations, different types of presentations and sorts. If it's a hearing and working session, I get it, we can call. But if it's outside of City Hall and we're doing a community thing, how can you help? Can you help? Can you please tell to the people watching, why don't you provide services for the community?
So thank you so much for the question.
For the council's meetings or events.
Right. So I know that the council has funding for language access for the hearings and council meetings that are happening here. I'm happy to circle back with your teams to see how we can partner and support each other. I know that we work with the council closely, especially when it comes to the central staff, with our equipment. We also work with the city council to provide equipment for hearings and other services, but I'm happy to circle back on that.
Sorry. Not specific to civic associations, just to council led programming. I'm not talking about civic association meetings. I'm talking about when we do something with civic association, when we provide something. And so can you tell me about your languages and the pay, what you're paying your interpreters?
So we currently have contracts with vendors, and they range from contracts with Boston-based minority-owned businesses. So the rates, I don't have those off on the top of my head right now, but we have contracts that are formally pushed out through RFPs, and that it does say some of the rates in there, but I don't have that in front of me.
None of your, can you provide it on record, please? Can you send it to us?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. None of your employees provide interpreter services?
No.
Okay. And so they all have language capacity?
Yes.
Do they provide translation services?
No.
Okay.
So when it comes to bilingual employees, it's a very sensitive topic, right? Because there is a movement, right, that bilingual employees need to be paid for bilingual pay. And also there's also this issue around quality assurance. So it's managing, ensuring that we can use speakers of other languages for in-language communication. Just to highlight, for example, downstairs, the parking clerk has a lot of multilingual speakers. They often interact in language with constituents. But when it comes to actually doing services that require professional interpreters, that's why we have these services set up so that we can switch over and provide constituents with the actual proficient services that they need.
Say that a family, a person, a migrant is stuck downstairs with security, and it's 4:35, and they call up to language access and they need help because that person is a mom with a baby stuck for over 7 hours, no food, and doesn't know how to get home, and realize she doesn't have any more money to get home. And she calls you upstairs, or she calls to your office, your department. What happens then? We call 311, we called your department. How does that person access service?
Yeah, so our efforts concentrate around ensuring that no matter who you go to, you can provide service. Of course, since we just staffed up last year, we're slowly making our way through all the city to ensure that if you go to a security guard, they can provide you with access. We're actually working with the security guards as well so that we can give iPads at the standing posts.
This really happened. I'm saying to you that this mom was stuck with her baby, and we called everyone. Security didn't speak her language, so or at least the person that was on duty.
Yeah.
And they were stuck, and we called 311, and they contacted your department. Where I guess I'm trying to figure out after 4:30 what happens. Who do they call? Someone is stuck in City Hall, doesn't speak English. What do we do?
So I'm so sorry that happened. First of all, that shouldn't be happening. What should happen is that 311 and any staffer should be able to connect with our on-demand interpretation services, whether that be through over the phone or over video remote interpretation. I would like to sit down and figure out what happened, because that's not what we want to happen. And I appreciate the support in bringing that up, and we really do want to hear these instances so we can better understand where we need to target our efforts and train even more.
I think I only have time for one department at a time, so wait, how much?
A minute 30.
I have 1:30. I'll bypass. I have more questions, but I wanted to go department by department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Fernandez Anderson. Next is Council President Louis Jen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to my colleagues for their questions that they've asked. And I want to just thank you. You all do yeoman's work. That's just so important to make sure that folks who have felt sidelined and ignored by government really feel centered. And so I want to thank each department. I've had the pleasure of working with all of you and really thinking through. Commissioner McCosh, I wanted to start with you. This morning we heard from Public Works and Transportation about the investments that they're making in our sidewalk repairs. And I know it's a big accessibility issue. So would love to hear from you you're not going to say that the city isn't doing a great job, but in terms of the pace of us, what are you, we hear about it, but we hear about it when constituents reach out and when we can see it. What is your constituent specialist or intake person, what are they hearing about accessibility on our streets and the investments that we're making?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So pedestrian access is a key priority of Public Works and of our office. So we know that people with disabilities use the sidewalks every day. Like I said, not just residents, but tourists, commuters, people with temporary injuries, so we really pay attention to sidewalks. The Public Works Department does a yeoman's job as well as our office in making sure that the sidewalks are accessible and compliant. Some of the things that we hear are things like a broken sidewalk, and we have a very good relationship with Public Works. We'll call them, and they'll do what they call a make-safe repair. So that's just to go out and patch it with asphalt. Sometimes we get a complaint about a curb ramp that's not accessible, and that may require a whole reconstruction of an intersection. So that's going to take a little bit longer time. That would have to be contracted out, put out to public bid, and designed, and then repaired. So we hear a range of complaints, everything from, like I said, a broken sidewalk, a non-compliant curb ramp. We also, the city entered into a settlement agreement a few years ago with a group of disability advocates, and it required the city to do a certain number of curb ramp reconstruction every year, and we're in the process of working through that with Public Works. We do a monthly call with the leadership team of Public Works to go over priorities and figure out where we can have a better impact, especially serving underserved neighborhoods as well.
And that's once a month?
We do a standing call once a month with leadership of Public Works.
That's great. Well, thank you for all of that work. I'm looking forward to ADA Day, which I believe is next week? Or?
Community Forum is next week,
Community Forum
and ADA Day is July 17th.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all the work that you're doing. At a later time, I'd like to bend your ear a bit about what we're doing here on the City Council, if we're doing everything we can for those who are hard of hearing to make sure that they have access to City Council meetings and hearings. But given the short time frame and the sensitivity, I won't ask them now, but would love to have a meeting with your office. Also want to shout out the incredible work that your Chief of Staff does. She came out to my street, which has a number of ADA issues, and really helped to brainstorm how we can address it. So I want to thank her for all of her work.
Thank you.
Director Terrell, I thank you for all the work that you're doing in fair housing. You know, this is something that we care a lot about, and Councilor Santana has also given a lot of his energy to this work. I know that you have this idea of what the ideal office of, what the ideal structure for your office looks like. If you could talk to us, especially moving some of the services, the hope is to move some services from being contractual services to being in-house. So if you could talk a little bit more about that.
You're asking me for my wish list budget?
Yeah.
Okay. Must be
And I'll
Christmas.
keep on asking, yeah.
Well, currently we have 10 folks on staff. As I said, we have 9 full-time, and we're looking for a director of investigations. I would like to also create a staff position for intakes, because intakes are, as I mentioned earlier, a very vital part of our operation. It sounds like a very sort of easy task, but that's where, when people come in, we decide which cases are housing cases, landlord-tenant cases, et cetera, ISD cases, and fair housing cases, because we want to take in the discrimination cases. We'd also like to ramp up and have a testing program, as I spoke to earlier. So we need a director of testing. If I had my absolute wish list, the Fair Housing Commission would have its own general counsel.
I was going to mention that, and I think it's important. I think even if it's not something that we accomplish in this budget, for the office to be effective, I think that's important.
Well, we just attended a national fair housing conference in Springfield, where we had fair housing and civil rights colleagues from all over the country. I would dare say, I'd probably make a bet of this, of a week's pay, that we're the only FAP agency that does not have a general counsel. Mm-hmm. And folks look at us like, well, how do you do all this work without a general counsel? And it's oftentimes very, very important, as we're going through an investigation, to have that extra legal expertise from someone who is a civil rights attorney and preferably a civil rights litigator, because we may have to engage in litigation at some point. That would be sort of my dream team. If that were to pass, I think we would be a very, very effective commission.
Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you for elevating that. We had that hearing, and I think that point is well taken. So hopefully that's something that we can help the office get, because it would also not only help the office, it would help the residents of the city of Boston who are experiencing discrimination. I want to thank, language access is so important in our city, and I just think that your team does phenomenal work. So thank you. I don't have direct questions for you. I actually have Director Nguyen, the same question. I thank you, that I care deeply about the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Advancement. Happy to see that we've been able to increase our capacity. Shout out to the new team, Sac Passe. Love that you guys are in the house and are helping welcome our residents. I think Immigrant Advancement, as a daughter of Haitian immigrants, is so incredibly important. I want to know you all are doing incredible work. This past weekend I was with La Colaborativa, the weekend before, and just yesterday actually, at IFC, and Dr. Gabo and the great work that they're doing there. And they just lost Monsieur D'Alembert for all the work and the work that he's done, who's been really a stalwart. I want to know, what your dream is for MOIA. What your dream, how do we? And the need is so great, especially as we're talking about new arrivals, especially as we're talking about how do we not only, Immigrant Lead Boston is really great, but how do we help communities build power, from the Chinese Progressive Association to our Cape Verdean residents to Haitian to everyone who is here in our city, to our newcomers from Ukraine and Afghanistan. What is your vision and your hope for your office? Because the budget here is good, Citizenship Day is great, but there's so much that's possible. And I want to know what your vision is, what you want to share with us about what's possible with all of the talent, all of the people who are coming here, who are often leaving behind lives and professions where they have so much to give and contribute. Right. What is your vision for the immigrants in our city? What is your vision for the office?
Oh yeah, that's a big question, but I'll try my best. How much time do I have?
A minute 17.
Okay. Well, I think we're making some strides towards the vision that I'm moving towards, because I really believe all the symptoms and suffering that immigrants go through is because of injustices that haven't been tended to. So thankfully, I came into the office with a really strong constituent services team, and then we've been ramping up and solidifying that. But what's missing is building the power, political voice of immigrants, regardless of their status, whether they're youth to even elderly folks. So building off of the Immigrant Lead Boston program is anchoring civic leaders, but paired with the organization, so that they're trained up to know how to navigate city services and city government, but also building power and organizing. But they should go home and organize with their organizations, so that we can build up the organizations in the home base. I'm hoping over time that we have a strong and complementary division between constituent services and community organizing and outreach, because we have over 180,000 immigrants that don't even, most people don't know about MOIA. So I'm thinking over time that is my dream, that our office is common name in the household. Children from school be like, oh, I learned this from MOIA today, or I'm part of this program, and also their mother just came home from a Know Your Rights session or something like that, getting to that level of scale. Another tangible thing that I'm hoping that administrative-wise that maybe we can do one day is similar to what Bob might need as a general counsel of some sort, because there's so many.
Y'all all need lawyers.
They all need lawyers, and we have this whole legal access program, right? So because we were trying to train up community-based organizations to do authorized legal practice of law, we're having so many issues of immigrants being scammed and taken advantage of. Even migrants right now with barely any money to offer, they're getting scammed along their journeys so many times. By the time they get here, they're just so distrustful, and they're in shelter in debt. It's ridiculous. So I'm hoping that through our work of expanding legal access to nonprofits, but we also need to figure out a way to create a pipeline for more immigration attorneys in the field. Immigration attorneys are underpaid. It's really hard. No one wants to do the work anymore. But we need to have good immigration attorneys to apply for all the asylum cases, even basic EED applications, simple things like that. So in short, some strong legal arm, community organizing, and constituent services.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Council President Louis Jen. Council Flynn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to say thank you to Chief and Robert and Jennifer and Monique and Kristen for the positive work and excellent leadership you provide in the city on so many issues. I had the opportunity to work with all of you over at least the last 5 or 6 years, and the interactions I've had with you have been very positive, and just want to acknowledge your professionalism in your job representing the city of Boston. And when we hear people talk negatively about city employees, I always reference them to the outstanding employees that I work with every day, from Office of Immigrant Advancement or the Mayor's Office of Disability Commission and Language and Communication Access and Fair Housing, and that's that's professional work that you're doing every day, not looking for any credit, but you're really representing the city with distinction. So I just wanted to highlight the work you do, and thank you for being tremendous city employees. I also wanted to recognize the team from the Human Rights Commission that I also think plays an important, critical role in our city as well. I know many of you, especially Kristen, works closely with the City of Boston Veterans Department as well. Many veterans are also members of the disability community, so I want to acknowledge, Kristen, the positive relationship your office has with Commissioner Santiago and the Commissioner's team. I also want to acknowledge that the incredible role immigrants play in our city, and I also see immigrants enlisting. I just wanted to mention this. I see immigrants enlisting in the military, serving our nation, and coming back to the United States and not treated with the same level of respect or dignity that other returning veterans receive. So I just want to highlight the important role immigrants play in our city. And language and communication access is probably the biggest issue that I've worked on over the last 7 years, and just want to encourage you to keep doing the great work that you're doing. Mr. Chair, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Flynn. Now we'll go to Councilor Santana.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and so glad to see so many familiar faces. And thank you just for the work. I want to echo my colleagues, the incredible work that you all are doing, representing some of and helping some of our most vulnerable residents here in the city of Boston. So I know I've already gotten to speak to some of you in this new role, in this new capacity, so I'll try to leave my questions for those who I haven't had the opportunity to do so. Starting with you, Director Nugent, the Office of Immigrant Advancement, I think to your the Council President's comments, I would love to encourage more collaboration between your office and the Office of Civic Organizing. As a former Director of Civic Organizing, this was an area where, excuse me, I know you and I had conversations, and obviously things happen and people move, but that was a very important area where I think we can really do incredible work to get our immigrants more civically engaged and plugged into their neighborhoods. Director, can you kind of just speak to the work that you all do? You're dealing with a lot of also undocumented, not just immigrants, but also undocumented immigrants and residents who are coming here, who want to, learn the language, who also want to work, but find it very difficult to find job placements. Can you talk about the work that your office does with our immigrants, particularly our undocumented immigrants, to find them work?
Yes, so we know that regardless of status, people need to make a way to make a living. So at the very least, we provide Know Your Rights training through our grantee partners and also sometimes through us ourselves to ensure that regardless of them navigating whatever job that they do take, whether it be short term or more permanent placement, that they know their rights, because oftentimes because of their undocumented status that they've taken advantage of. Another thing that we promote is entrepreneurship, because it's actually it's a great way for people to legally and also make income as undocumented folks through cooperative businesses. So you can be worker owner, where you are not taken advantage of. So So I've been promoting entrepreneurship, and that's why our focus has been entrepreneurship as well, and paired with Know Your Rights as well. So we don't help folks who do not have work authorization at this time to find work, but we help them navigate it in the event that they do take on work as undocumented people to make sure they're not taken advantage of. Thank
you. I appreciate that clarification. A follow-up question, kind of unrelated, but my office has been really. We've tried to prioritize our youth here in the city of Boston. Can you just kind of speak to? I know you again focus on immigrants in general, but do you all do specific work? Is there any intention to work with our immigrant youth here in the city of Boston?
Yeah, so one of our programs that we are building up is Immigrant Youth Advancement. It used to be called the Dreamers Fellowship, where we ensured that undocumented youth, regardless of their status, had the same summer work experience opportunities like the rest of the city. And we're excited to actually add 100 more seats to that this coming year. So we do that work, and we're also working on ensuring that they are getting access to tuition equity policy that's coming to effect soon. That this actually is the first year people might be graduating that they'll be able to apply for in-state tuition, because that wasn't possible the other year. So in-state tuition for folks who are undocumented, they didn't have access to that. People had to pay international fees even if they graduated high school. So as one of our major priorities this year is to actually get in the schools, work with the school counselors and social workers, so they know how to get the word out and help us get access to the students, for them to know how to access that opportunity. And
Great.
Also opportunities after high school, because a lot of folks, college might not be the thing anymore. They're noticing that college is sometimes people have lost faith in the school system because of all the debt. So we're also trying to uplift all of the training and job opportunities that you get paid pretty decently without needing to go to college. So we're trying to open up those doors as well.
Great. No, thank you, and appreciate the work that you and your office are doing. Going down to Director Terrell, again, thank you for meeting with me in my office and discussing and answering our questions. You mentioned a couple of things, Director Terrell, in your opening remarks. One that you're trying to also add some new protected classes into that list. Can you just speak to what are the new protected classes that you would like to see amended in the ordinance?
Yes, there's a serious problem with folks that are survivors, not victims, survivors of domestic violence. And we tried at the state level several times to get the legislature to pass an amendment to our state civil rights law so that they would become a protected class. We weren't successful at the state level, but there's no reason why we can't do it here in the city of Boston and make that a part of our ordinance.
Great. No, thank you. I appreciate that. And you also mentioned a lot of residents. For every one complaint, there's probably 7 people who are not issuing that complaint, right? So there's a lot of unheard stories and a lot of discrimination happening across our city. You mentioned a fear of retaliation. What is that fear? I mean, how can someone, how can they retaliate, and what's the fear there for the residents, just so that we can be more clear on that?
Takes a couple of different forms. We have a case pending that's similar to this. A person goes to their landlord or their property manager for particular services, and they're denied those services, and they believe it's because they're a member of a protected class, whatever the protected class is. And the person goes through a dialogue with their property manager, their landlord, over a certain period of time. And they get a little frustrated with the situation and say, well, I'm going to call ISD. I'm going to file a fair housing complaint. I'm going to take some official action. Then all of a sudden, the person gets threats, usually threats about eviction. Sometimes they're actually given a summary process that starts the eviction process. Or it can be more threatening and more physical and more violent. So in the case that we're looking at now, I can't go into the details because we're investigating, but we said, well, there are two complaints here. There's a fair housing issue and there's an issue of retaliation. So there are going to be two separate complaints.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, this is an area where my office and I are taking this very seriously, and really want to be able to support your office and the work that you're all doing to make sure the discrimination that we're seeing doesn't continue to happen. I will go to Director Wong, and I don't really have questions. I think I've had the opportunity to work with you in your office, and just really want to shout out. I think you often have a thankless job, and it's such a demanding job. You yourself have just been incredibly professional, and just love the work that you and your team provide for our city. So I just wanted to put that on the record and say thank you. Going to Commissioner, my question was already asked by Council President Eugene. My question was in regards to, I go on a lot of community walks, and just a couple of weeks ago I was in Mission Hill, and I did a walk with someone who is in a wheelchair, and they showed me how they got from their apartment to their grocery store, and they had to cross multiple streets just because they had to avoid certain sidewalks. What work? I mean, what type of support does your office need to make sure that we're making sure that our residents, especially those who are disabled, can actually use our city and be a regular resident here in the city.
Thank you for the question. It's nice to meet you. So our office works closely with Public Works, as I mentioned, and the whole streets cabinet. So just so everyone's aware, our office isn't the only office that works on accessibility. Public Works has that built into all their projects, and they're doing a lot of work now on street safety, redesign, road diets, crossings. So we work closely with them. I would say for additional support, it's not so much needed by our office, but it would be a great investment for Public Works and things like that. I know they're looking to hire an ADA coordinator. That's in the works right now, but other departments that do this work, I would say we would encourage their support with as well.
I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you, Commissioner, down the line. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Council Santana. Council Weber, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and I apologize to my colleagues. I have a pre-scheduled event in West Roxbury that I have to get to. That people expect to see me, so thank you for allowing me to go out of order. Thank you, Chair. I guess I'll go right to left. Director Nguyen. Looking at the budget for immigrant advancement, it's up 2%. I looked at that and I thought that doesn't seem like that's rising to the moment where we have a lot of new arrivals in the city. So what is the thinking there? Did you have any conversations about the increased need and whether that number meets it?
Yes, I appreciate that question. That's a very common one for this year too, and on the moment. And we thought about it, and I think it was best for us to strategize with other departments that partner with us to support migrants, for them to be able to get access to funding through their budget or even through federal funding, because that's where most of the response money is. So that's been our approach with it. As a department that ensures equity across the city, that's kind of like our mode of operation in that way. So, and then also, thankfully I stepped into the budget with a it was very generous, and we're still scaling up as a team to be able to manage all that money and do that work itself. So we felt that the number is right for this year.
Okay, and then in your goals for the year, it includes providing more ESOL classes. So what's the plan there, and how's that going to work?
Yeah, so 2/3 of our budget is through grants and contracts. So we have to actually work with nonprofits and vendors to provide those seats. So that's how we leverage being able to add more seats into the field in that way. So we work with different contractors to, even right now, MOIA has a contract with a volunteer-based organization that has JVS curriculum that they are helping women in shelter right now who are migrants, for example. But we also have a grantee program that was able to add 175 seats last year. So we seek to do the same next year.
Okay, and is there any increase? So for adult, we've talked about adult ESOL here. What is it going to look like for people who need those services in Boston?
Oh yeah, so adult ESOL, the pot of funding that we have will serve them as well, and then there's a state process for people to. There's a whole state wait list of people who want to have access, get on the wait list to get seats for ESOL. So we're referring them to go on that list as well.
Okay, and one concern I had, and this is my last question for you, is to be eligible for these services, you have to live in Boston, correct? And it's very expensive to live here. We're talking about people who don't speak English as a first language, may not, maybe trying to get worker authorization. Is there any thought of partnering with cities and towns around Boston so we can provide more comprehensive services and don't require people to stay in maybe the most expensive place to get those services?
Yeah, that's good thinking. Our partners actually work throughout the state, so we try to refer people that actually, a lot of people out of the city actually call our office, so we actually try to connect them to the municipalities or services that are accessible to them as much as possible. And we do have a network that we're a part of called the Massachusetts Immigrant Support Network that's organized by the MAPC that helps us strategize about how do we meet the needs regionally for immigrants. So we have a retreat in June, so I'll bring that up as well because that's part of our strategy to scale the need. There's actually 21,000 people on the wait list in Massachusetts alone for ESOL classes. So it's a big field need that's under resourced right now as a whole state.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner McCosh, I'm asking for a friend, my friend Chris in Jamaica Plain. What is being done about the pathways around Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market for folks that are in wheelchairs?
Yeah, so the city owns Faneuil Hall, I believe. One city agency owns Faneuil Hall. So we work closely with all the departments that oversee facilities and buildings in the city. We work closely with public facilities and property management. So Faneuil Hall has some unique challenges because of its history. And I know there's a change in leadership happening with the people who rent the space and oversee it, and they're going to be doing a lot of renovations. But I did work with public facilities several years ago when I was first appointed to create an accessible path on one side of the Faneuil Hall building. So I would say it's a work in progress, and it does need a lot of attention.
Okay. And then we spoke to Public Works earlier about the curb cuts for accessibility onto sidewalks. What do you think, how's that progressing?
It's going well. I know Public Works has devoted a lot of staff time and energy specifically to curb ramps, especially with the consent decree that we have now as a mandate to fix and repair and install curb ramps that are missing. So I would say it's on track, and they certainly make it a priority. And like I said, during our monthly meetings, we do go over complaints that we've gotten in certain priority areas. So I think they certainly do pay attention to it.
Okay, thank you. Just one last, Director Terrell. We talked in our hearing on voucher discrimination, Section 8 discrimination, and a great tool is testing. So and you talked about complaint-based testing. You're hoping, but so right now, can your office do any testing? Do you have the capacity for that?
No, we don't.
Okay. Well, that's, I get, and so would you want to start with the sort of random testing, or would you want to start with the complaint-based testing?
We would prefer to do complaint-based testing, because that's most immediate to our investigations. But we'd also like to do some systemic testing, where we know or suspect discrimination is taking place, and we do the test, and then we bring a commission-initiated complaint.
And so to get that started, to do some complaint-based testing, how many people would you need, or what would that take?
ideally at least 2 to run the testing program. We're putting in place a special consultant to help us map out and organize how that testing regime will be put together. We have to do that first because then we recruit and train our testers before we deploy them. So we literally have to have a curriculum in place to train folks so that they know what to do when they're a tester. Because if they don't do the test properly, then the evidence falls by the wayside.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, yeah, I think you made a very convincing case for that at the hearing, and it's,
Thank you.
I think something we should be doing. Chair, am I out of time? One last question. You have a minute and 30 seconds. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, this question is for the chief. We talked to the Human Rights Commission. So is there a consultant, is there a process going on? Can you just explain what's going on and when whatever's happening now is going to end and we'll see some action?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor. Up until now, as of the last 2-3 years, the office has not been very active. The commission has been, so it's the separate body. After many conversations, we are at a moment where the office itself does not have staff. The positions still remain. So what we're going to do from now until the end of FY24 is put out a contract so that somebody with expertise in working with commissions, but also with human rights issues, can come and help us figure out how we sort of update the ordinance to meet the moment that we're finding ourselves in. We also it's in the perfect cabinet, right, where we're connected to all these different constituencies and needs that could benefit from the power in the ordinance. But that's the focus right now, coming and bringing in a consultant to do some of the work with residents, with you all, and with some universities and institutions that are looking into this as well.
Okay, thank you. And thank you to all the panelists. I mean, this is an incredible array of services that we provide for people in our city, and I'm highly impressed. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Back to you.
Thank you, Council Weber. Vice Chair Pepin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to our panelists today. Just to see all of you here in front of me, it's an honor. I had a chance to work with several of you in my previous role, and just very thankful for the work you all do for the residents. It's important work. In a previous hearing with the Equity Cabinet, I was able to ask a little bit. I jumped the gun a little bit and asked some questions about immigrant advancement. So I was able to get some concrete answers from the chief about just more resources going into the Haitian community regarding what programming is happening. But I found out that you've hired more people on your team. So thank you, and thank your staff for the work that you're doing. To Jennifer, I guess my question for you is, how are we expanding our resources in terms of just translation services, specifically for the Haitian Creole speaking community?
So, specifically for Haitian Creole is the second most spoken language in the city. So, per our ordinance, a lot of the vital documents or vital information coming from the city has to be translated in that language already. I think one of the biggest challenges, but that we're working through, is trying to make sure that we're training those people that are responsible for that information so that they know that this is the standard, and making sure that that does get translated. So we've worked with partners ranging from information of like streets getting shut down and making sure that there are flyings on people's cars in those multiple languages so they know the street's getting shut down, please move your car, to all the COVID work that we did. So that, in terms of resources, it is one of the top languages where a lot of the vital information, vital documents do get translated automatically into that language.
That's really good to know, and I'm very thankful for that ordinance that was passed. Specifically, I wanna I guess let you know that I would love for there to be a connection between LCA and Boston Transportation Department specifically, just because I know there's a lot of work happening on Cummins Highway, and I've had a few residents reach out to me that predominantly speak Haitian Creole, and they actually didn't see any wording on there in Haitian Creole.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that it's translated out there.
Of course, I'll reach out and then we'll connect to make sure and get interpretation and translations there.
Thank you for that.
Of course. Sorry about that.
No worries. This is what these hearings are for. And to Commissioner McCosh, thank you for all the work you do. Just today in Hyde Park, we're actually getting about a dozen ADA improved ramps across our streets. Literally, as we speak, they are paving the roads right now. So I was happy to see that. But you mentioned something that caught my attention in a good way. You said that the Disability Commission plays a role in development. What role do you play when, let's say, a developer proposes a project to the BPDA or before it gets passed? Like, I'm just actually curious. Like, how do you have those conversations?
Yeah, so we play a big role in that, actually. So one branch of my office is our architectural access team. We have a director of architectural access who's a licensed architect. The senior architectural access has a degree in architecture, and we also have an engineer. So we are part of the Article 80 process. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Yep.
but it's a large process that looks at everything from before a building's permitted, they talk about the design and the vision, to all the way till the studs are in the ground. So our architectural access team, a few years ago, I worked really hard to implement an accessibility checklist. So that's now part of the Article 80 process. So our architectural access team goes to every meeting. They go from the scoping sessions to the next iteration all the way down the line through the whole process. And they go over the Article 80 checklist with every developer. This checklist asks for sidewalk conditions, street crossings, if it's a housing development, where the accessible units are, how many bedrooms, if it's an office building, like what the access layout is, do they have elevators, do they have redundant elevators. So it really lays out the whole picture of accessibility. And then if there are any questions about that, our team will meet one-on-one with the developers, and that happens routinely. And we find their developers are usually good partners. We have a few who we know try to skirt around the regulations, but that's very few. Most of them really want to do the right thing, and we always push not to meet minimum compliance, but to go above and beyond, because the city doesn't strive for minimum compliance in any regulation. So we find developers are usually generally willing to work with us, but we have our eyes on every large development and small projects too.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that, just because I know that there's a few developments coming into my district, and some of the sidewalks are not in the greatest conditions. So I just want to make sure that they are being as communicative as possible with the commission to make sure everything's ADA compliant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. And then I also just wanted to highlight for you is that one of my biggest priorities on the council is pushing for pedestrian safety around school zones and just visibility around crosswalks.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to loop you into those conversations so that we don't have to have it here in the budget hearing, but to make sure that when we are having those conversations, we do have a representative from the ADA Commission.
Yep, that'd be great. I also sit on the PIC, the Public Improvement Commission. I have a designee, one of my architectural access specialists takes my place because she has that expertise, but we're also involved in all those conversations, and I'd love to connect with you after.
That's perfect, and I'll be reaching out. Do I have a question? Do I have one more minute?
Yeah.
For Monique, it's good to see you. I'm always trying to push for, obviously Citizenship Day is this Saturday, and I think that's amazing. How does your office partner up with, let's say, Councilor's office to do more than just Citizenship Day? Do you ever go out to the neighborhoods in specific districts, or just sit down with specific nonprofits to make sure that you do maybe a smaller cohort of people that may be interested in learning what the process is for citizenship?
Yeah, so we started trying out different partnerships or outreach last year. We put out small contracts to work with community-based organizations to do targeted outreach for communities that are hard to reach. For example, the Chinese and Dominican communities, the elder folks. A lot of them are eligible, but a lot of them don't apply for citizenship, and we were trying to figure out why. And a lot of it's because of concerns of their English proficiency, or stories about how they'll lose different benefits. So it's a lot about having those cultural sensitive conversations with the nonprofits. So thankfully, we've been starting to do that work. I'm hoping to scale that up in the coming years, but we'd love to partner with you to have more reach for that, because every year when we're putting this day out, it is quite a hustle to get people to sign up and everything. We're hoping, the theory is that the more that we're engaged with the community, for them to prepare for this day, that they can get their ducks in a row. Because also becoming a citizen is very daunting. It's also very scary. So you have to go through mental model shifts for yourself, and also prepare your family, what that means, and it's for people to make informed decisions. But thanks for uplifting that. We're hoping to also add another layer of activating citizenship. So after people become citizens, that we're trying to add another element where they get engaged with democracy. Getting out to vote, getting engaged in the civic organizing, and even being part of the city's fabric and democracy more.
You mentioned the Dominican community, and as a Dominican myself, who has helped several family members through the immigration process and citizenship process, I would love to take you up on that offer to partner up with any initiative in that community.
Yeah, definitely. We are, and our Citizenship Day is celebrating 10 years this year, so it's something that we're going to be, it's part of our culture and our tradition now as a city, so you can look forward to us having this annually and working deeper with you guys to be able to access that for the community.
Wow, thank you for that. I guess I'm just thanking every one of you for the work you do. I look forward to partnering with you in any capacity and just seeing the amazing initiatives you continue to put out. But with that, I'll yield my time.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Councilor Braden, you now have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you all. Good to see you. My colleagues have taken many of my questions, but it's not a competition. It's okay. I really am right on in agreement with Councillor Pepin about housing accessibility, new architectural. I'm really excited to know that you're on top of that as we see. I'm just curious about the number of units that we're actually. I know there's a certain percentage required to be built accessible that can be converted to be accessible if they need be. What is that standing at? Like, I do hear about folks who need an accessible unit, but they just can't find one. And how do they find out about an accessible unit?
Yeah, so we touch housing in a number of ways. Like I said, my architectural access specialists work on the buildings themselves. So the federal law requires 5% of units to be built out for wheelchair access. They have a wider turning radius and certain features. Any unit can be adapted if somebody makes a reasonable accommodation request, but the actual built-out requirement is 5%. However, about 7 or 8 years ago, I formed a disability housing task force in the city, and we did a lot of work with city partners and housing agencies, and we came up with some recommendations which were actually adopted by the city. So now any project that gets city money through D&D or the Mayor's Office of Housing has to build out 10% of the units to be accessible. So we thought that was a big victory because we know that, yeah, and BHA has also adopted this standard, so in all their new housing build-outs, they have 10% of the units to be accessible.
That's very good, because we might all be like able-bodied right now, but as we age, we definitely, our abilities change.
That's the thing, we want people to be able to age in place.
Yes, exactly. I'm also quite questioned, just in terms of physical access. I know we're talking a lot about inclusion in our schools these days, and I'm just wondering about, I know we have a very aged school buildings in our inventory across the city. Not all of them are fully accessible, I would imagine. Just where are we at in terms of just physical access for our school buildings?
Yeah, so that's a really complex issue, as you stated. So BPS just had a consultant do a full facilities assessment on all of their buildings, all the school buildings. So one of my architectural access staff is working with BPS now to look at those assessments and work on the plan of making the buildings accessible. It's going to be a long process, but I know the mayor has devoted a lot of money to it, and it's really important because we know that it's not only kids with disabilities, but our advisory board, we have one parent who has a child in the Boston Public Schools who has a disability, but another parent has a disability himself.
Yeah.
And his child's not disabled, but we want him to be able to go to the school plays and everything else. So it's critical that the schools are accessible, but we do a lot of work. We also work with the Office of transition age students, 18 to 22. So we work closely with them, and that was the financial empowerment curriculum that we helped to implement. So it's a critical population. We want our youth to be successful, and we do everything we can to help them succeed.
You're anticipating all my questions. I was going to ask you about financial empowerment curriculum. Yeah. I'm also wondering, we have this incredible summer jobs program in the city, and I don't know, are we working with our young people with disabilities in that, as part of their sort of transitional programming, making sure they get opportunities in our summer jobs to get internships and get some...
We do, yep. Our office always takes a few students every summer from this program. We've also helped place them. I know the city clerk's office had taken some years ago, and other departments also take them. And we're here to support departments that have any questions about accommodations and things like that.
Excellent. And then this is a question for Monique, I think. ESOL, I love that you support our ESOL classes. Like Gardner Pilot Academy, there's adult education program is one of the programs that you support, and we're really grateful for that, because it's, when I go to their graduation ceremony, it is so wonderful. They have folks from, like, God knows, 10 or 12 countries, all so proud of their achievement, and they all support each other over year on year on year, so it's really incredible. I'm just thinking about, how there's way more demand. Like, I think they have a wait list of like 50, and I do appreciate you give an incredible amount of your funding, your money goes to grants. So I'm just thinking, how do we expand that, or do we? Is it just basically status quo in terms of the amount of money you have from year on year?
I'm actually trying to think about ecosystem capacity building, because I've been doing some brainstorming with English for New Bostonians and also First Literacy, for example. And this is actually a pickle that everyone's trying to sort out, because we can't seem to have enough seats for all the people who want to learn English. And it's such a missed opportunity for the economy, but also for people to culturally be integrated in America and also be able to support their families. I think there's a lot of opportunities between what's emerging from COVID around technology, also with in person. So I'm excited to see how all the different pilots that are happening right now of doing hybrid curriculum to be able to be more cost effective. Because previously, I've done some analysis, and some classes could cost up to a couple $1,000s for one seat. It's not fair. That makes it very hard to scale. So one of our things is trying to pilot and do some research of how do we make it cost effective to scale classes, and also share curriculum, those type of things. So that's something that I'm tackling this coming year.
And I think one of the things they found at the Gardner Pilot Academy is because they were parents of students, and they were working 2 jobs.
Right.
And to make it work, they needed childcare.
Yeah.
So that's another important piece of the component. Let's see. Thank you. That's great. The other thing is just the citizenship classes. I know as a citizen, I'm not a new citizen anymore, but I did go through that process, and I do know, even as an English speaker coming to this country, I was susceptible to a scam. And it really, looking back, I go, like, how could I be so stupid? But it's really this sort of sophisticated scams that you're very susceptible to in terms of getting your full licensure or getting citizenship or whatever. So it's way back in the mist of time at this point. But I do really appreciate. So I'm really wondering, in terms of your legal capacity, like, do you still have a legal immigration clinic in department, or?
So what we do is that we work with volunteer attorneys to be able to meet that need. So we do have immigration consultations that are free, 15 minutes with the immigration attorney. And then you can, it happens monthly, so constituents can call our office to get an appointment.
Yeah, that's good to know.
And then we provide, we scan the field and see what the needs are, and whenever there's a big grouping of people that need quick legal response or intervention, we organize legal clinics. So we do that ad hoc.
Very good. My time's up. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Good to see you.
That was not your time, Councilor. No, it was not. That was Councilor Fernandez Anderson's cell phone. So you have 2 minutes.
Oh, got another 2 minutes. Wonderful. Whee! Let's see. So I did that one. This is a question about for Jennifer. The long-term rental pilot program for the iPads, how does that work? And is that something that we as offices could access? Like if we're meeting with constituents who if we don't have the language capacity in office, and they don't speak English, is that something? How does that work?
So our iPads, they are. I want to be mindful of your 2 minutes. So our iPads are mainly for departments that they're out in the field or are navigating the city where they need to be able to access on-demand interpretation, but maybe they don't have like Wi-Fi or data available. So that iPads are specifically, they usually sit with like ISD for the inspectors that go out in the field, Boston Fire, because that way they can have a bigger screen, and we pay for the data, so that iPad will always have internet, so they can connect to the on-demand interpretation services. For folks who have here at the City Hall, etc., as long as they have a webcam-enabled device, you're able to access services.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. And so I'm just have a question more about intersectionality, because we have folks with disabilities who don't speak English. We have there's a lot of different ways to cut this. And I really appreciate you've got a wide range of expertise across your cabinet here. How often are you called to address all these this intersectional question about all of it at any time? Like, how do you address that?
Yeah, our office is pretty good at working together, especially when constituent needs are coming through, that we see that there is a clear intersection where there's a department that might have content expertise, and we bring them in to triage or respond to it. So in equity and also across the city, I would say. So from my perspective, because we often have to work with LCA to get language justice needs, work with disabilities for folks who are disabled but also immigrants. They face a different level of marginalization and how they navigate even through school systems right now. Where we have a grouping of parents who have disabilities themselves or their children do, and then we're working with disabilities to do workshops or even know your rights trainings for immigrant parents, and using language access to be able to speak to them in language. So that's a perfect example for us.
Okay. Yeah. And sometimes we come across distressing incidents of maybe an immigrant, an elder, who's got some level of dementia, and it's sometimes there's a certain level of stigma attached to being talking about it even with the family, and I don't know, is that something that you maybe engage with Age Strong or other city departments on how to handle those instances?
Yes, typically if it touches upon contact expertise, we bring them in to get some consultations or even refer them.
Yeah, I was just going to add that we all have wonderful staff, support staff, and they work together on really a daily basis. They're always phone calls if they have questions. Like Monique said, we're planning trainings. We have a new training specialist, so they're going to be working with the different equity and inclusion departments. But that's why it's so critical. I think the Equity Inclusion Cabinet, that really is our mission, to work together to support underserved residents. And I think our staff does a really good job at that.
Mm-hmm. I'm really glad you're all in the huddle together, and that even tenant rights and discrimination, all of it, because the disability piece, the language piece is also important. So thank you all for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Braden. Councilor Coletta, the floor is yours.
So, thank you, Chair. Letting so many people go before me. Their time's going over. I got a nephew to pick up from daycare. No, it's all good. We're all here. We're all here because we love the city, and thank you so much for the beautiful work you do to make the city just more welcoming and inclusive. I have questions about fair housing for the Disabilities Commission, but I think I'll start with Monique and Jennifer. Thank you so much for your work. It's been great to to get these things up off the ground, including additional resources for translation equipment, which we have utilized this year. So thank you so much for that. I remember during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was a scramble to get you these resources. And so it's been great to see your leadership and your organizational capacity to build this department up. So congratulations. And then Monique, your fingerprints are all over your org chart. There's organizers everywhere. And I know that you're an organizer at heart, which is what we need to do as a city. You know how much I love the Immigrants Lead Boston program. In my district, I was actually thinking about this and in conversation with a colleague, but we have, I think, 10 different civic associations, and there's no one in leadership who comes from an immigrant background. And we place such an emphasis on civic associations and their voices in the development process, and are we actually building neighborhoods that are inclusive of everybody and actually reflective of the diversity of our community. And so that's why the Immigrants Lead Boston program is so important, and we'll continue to advocate for you to get more resources to have a greater cohort and make it multilingual. So thank you for that. I'll shift over to Director Terrell. Thank you so much for your work in partnership during the AFFH zoning amendment work in 2019 and 2020. For those of you who don't know, I will brag about this forever and ever, but Boston was the first major city to include affirmatively furthering for housing in its zoning code. So that means that developers must affirmatively work to build for historically marginalized classes of folks. And so they have to do a displacement analysis, and they have to look at exclusion data. It is just a beautiful thing that's taking place. I wanted to ask about the Boston Interagency Fair Housing Development Committee. My understanding is that you're supposed to sit on that in conjunction with representatives from BHA, DND, which is now Office of Housing, the Disabilities Commission. How do you feel like that's going when you're reviewing assessments? And there was supposed to be a plan for ongoing monitoring of commitments and reporting requirements. How is that work informing your work in the office and vice versa?
To your first question about what we call the BFHC committee, when that was originally formulated under the zoning amendment that you just referenced, we indicated to folks at that time it was going to be very difficult for that committee to function because there would be a lot of turnover within the committee because none of the folks on the committee are full-time. So what has happened, I know when I worked at the BHA, 3 different people served on that committee because there's so much work for that committee to cover. Originally, it was supposed to be only the large-scale projects, but then eventually they started adding the small-scale projects. There's far too much work for anybody to handle on a part-time basis. Fair Housing Commission, we were already short-staffed, so it would have been virtually impossible for us to staff that because it would burn up way too much staff time. Okay. So our recommendation has been that funding should be provided so that each agency that is assigned to that committee can hire a full-time person to do that review work.
It requires a full-time position just for the BFHC?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely, because of the number of development for example, I'm on the listserv, I see all the projects they're talking about and reviewing. They're not just doing BFHC meetings, they're also going to scoping sessions, they're going through all the Article 80 activities.
Can I add a note on that?
Please, yeah, because I know Sarah is incredible.
I was going to say, to follow up on
she's at every meeting.
Yeah, my architectural access staff goes to all the BFHC meetings. I'm the designee. I used to attend in the beginning, and I want to just do a brag that the actual checklist of the BFHC was modeled on our accessibility checklist. Yeah. So I was thrilled when that got passed and codified. But as Bob said, like Sarah's full-time job is going to scoping sessions, and so she's in the weeds of all these things, so BFHC is a perfect fit for her. But, just so the council knows that we do have eyes on it. Equity does have eyes on it, so through my staff.
Thank you. So it's interesting to hear about the fact that you need another full-time person to make this, because that was the spirit of that zoning amendment, and this committee is key to all of that, so it's helpful to learn.
To your second question, the zoning amendment was part of Goal 7 Action Step 1 in the assessment of fair housing. We were called upon to form a monitoring committee, which the mayor appointed us to the monitoring committee, and we have started a series of meetings with all the city departments that have been given assignments under the assessment of fair housing. In fact, we have a meeting coming up with them on April 29th. It'll be our third compliance review meeting. So far, so good. The attendance has been pretty good. The reports have been fairly timely. We're trying to streamline the reporting process so we can better track progress that the departments have made and also where they may need help and assistance in moving forward. So yes, we are now full steam ahead in implementing the assessment of fair housing.
That's great, and thank you again for your work on that. I'll switch my attention over to Commissioner Kosh. Thank you so much for your work. We've met multiple times, and a shout out to Andrea.
She's amazing.
How do you say her name?
Andrea.
Andrea. Shout out to Andrea. I've met with her a bunch on different things, and primarily two different things. So thinking about coastal flooding, coastal overlay district, I'll get really wonky, Article 25A, in the development process, it's inherently, it conflicts with accessibility. So we have to build up in coastal areas. What does that mean for retrofits? How can we, again, build to the inclusion of folks? And so I know over the long term and looking at the horizon, that's going to be something that hopefully we can partner on in terms of policy. And then the other part of the work that we've been doing is trying to figure out how to get you mini grants to disperse, to retrofit spaces that provide essential community services. So I'm thinking of a soup kitchen that operates out of a location that only has stairs and trying to put some retrofits in there. And so I want to do what I can to help you in that work. I don't know if you have any comments on that or...
I have lots of comments, but
Okay.
I know we have limited time. So for the first piece, we work a lot with the green infrastructure. Interestingly enough, we noticed the trend of building up from the first floor that started several years ago. So my architectural access director, Patricia Mendez, she looked into, are you familiar with LEED credits?
Yeah.
So she looked into a pilot LEED credit that will give points for different innovations for social impact. So disability access is one, and she actually kind of formulated it on having to do with creative solutions to things like this issue. So we've rolled it out. We're trying to encourage the developers to look at creative solutions. One design I saw was a sloped walkway like leading up to the front building, so you don't have to have a ramp here and stairs on the other side. So really integrated entrances is key. But also we've worked with, the Streets Cabinet on porous pavers to soak up, water, so to mitigate flooding. So we're really, my team, I will give them credit, they're in the weeds of all these, not to make a pun, they're in the weeds of all these issues. And then secondly, about the soup kitchen that you mentioned, we are rolling out a plan this year to work with small businesses, training on free and low-cost barrier removal. And one of the things that prompted that was during the pandemic, when we were working with food pantries, we noticed a lot of them were in like church basements and bodegas that had like 1 or 2 steps. So during the outdoor dining program, we had purchased a number of ramps to give to restaurants so that they could make outdoor dining accessible. So we tried to think creatively, like could we give away ramps to like food pantries and things like that, but more than just like solving the problem, we said like there are so many ways that they can do it themselves through training. So we're planning to work with Main Streets this year to look at those free and low-cost barrier removals, and also excited to work with Restore, their grant money, to get some designated specifically for barrier removal.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Coletta. Councilor Durkin, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Chair, and those are some great points, Councilor Coletta. I wanted to start also with Commissioner McCosh. A couple questions. I love the Boston Breaks, but I don't think enough people know about that. And I know I just filed earlier this year a hearing order to talk about micromobility and what it means to protect all road users. And I'm excited and hoping that you can participate in that hearing. Just curious, I think obviously Boston Breaks is really important, and disability, and I loved the presentation because the estimate that 100% of the general population will have a temporary disability at some point. A lot of folks in my district have reached out about I never really understood how inaccessible our roadways were until I hurt my knee, until I had a fall. So making sure that, and I know I sprained my ankle, had to go to the ER early in my tenure on the city council, and realizing as a city councilor just how much those mobility challenges can impact the way that we approach our streets. So just wanted to get an idea of what we can be doing more to market that out and let residents know about it. And obviously, I hope that my hearing is part of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really appreciate your comments on the fact that you are aware of Boston Brakes and that you support it. So we know our streets are changing, curb use is changing, and that really impacts people with disabilities. When we think about bikes and electric scooters, we think about somebody who's blind, who can't see a bike coming, and can't jump out of the way quickly. Someone who's deaf may not be able to hear someone call out. And then someone who's older or has a mobility impairment can't move quickly out of the way. So we really want to protect those residents. The issue was really raised to us from a resident who was blind, who worked with us for years and years. And he felt like he would tell us he almost got hit daily in an intersection. He was a big patron of the Copley Library, so those intersections around Copley were really dangerous. So we actually rolled out the Boston Brakes campaign upon his urging. So the campaign, I just got the details from my outreach and engagement person. They've done 65 print ads, 21 presentations to colleges and universities, because we know a lot of students ride bikes, especially in the Commonwealth Ave area. They've shared information with bike shops across the city. So really making that pedestrian awareness, I think, is key. So we continue to work on that. And I do think that, like you said, moving forward, we can put a lot of effort between just getting this information out, because like you said, temporary disabilities and acquired disabilities are huge. That's why we work on housing, so that people can age in place. We know when we make curb cuts or install elevators, people with parents with strollers use them, with little kids, elderly people use them. One thing that we were excited about in a building development was, are you familiar with the Summer Street steps? That's a connection between Summer Street and Congress Street. Traditionally, there was no vertical connection that was accessible. So we work with the developer, and he's going to install an elevator next to the steps inside a building. So that was a big access win. So we're always paying attention to those vertical connections and access on the public rights of way as well.
That's really helpful. It actually lends to another question I have. Many times, we have a lot of development going on in District 8 in my 5 neighborhoods, and just wanted to ask how involved the Disability Commission is in the Article 80 process, because I obviously know there's limited capacity, and we have some great urban designers with BPDA, and obviously BCDC looks at this stuff as well, but I was just curious how involved you are, especially in large project review, because oftentimes I don't necessarily see the Disability Commission at the table, and that may be that someone else is speaking for you, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, my staff go to all the scoping sessions. They're involved from the beginning to the end of Article 80, and you can actually look in any Article 80 paperwork, any notice of projects that you can go through and look and find the accessibility checklist. Every large project is required to do one, and small projects as well. And it's about an 8-page document, and it really makes the developers list all the accessibility questions, answer all the questions that we have. And we've updated it 2 or 3 times since it was implemented about 8 years ago. And it's super helpful document. So that will give you a snapshot of the accessibility of any development. But I don't know if you know Sarah Leong, that's who Councilor Coletta mentioned, but she's at all the scoping sessions and all the development reviews.
Yeah,
it used to be me, but then when I got an expanded staff, now I can send them.
I'm only 8 months in, so I think I have missed sometimes you see people on the list and you don't know where they're from. So that was a really helpful answer. Thank you so much. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And I also wanted to shout out Andrea Patton. We worked together prior to me having this job, and also getting to see her work in this role. She does such a great job.
Yeah, as my chief of staff, she's a great thought partner, and she has expertise in policy. And so, yeah, we work really well together.
Thank you so much, Commissioner McCosh, and excited to work with you. On language access, I wanted to ask about, obviously 311 is expanded to access to more languages. How has that helped, or does there need to be more work? I think about some of the statistics that we found around the majority of 311 users are in districts where there's majority homeowners, so it does create an equity issue. It's really important that everyone have access to 311, but just knowing the demographics of folks who use 311, I was just curious if that has expanded access.
So for 311, we provide them with the interpretation services over the phone. And there's two services for the city. There's one that is, both of them are 24/7. So, because 311 is 24/7. So it covers, so we have an internal list, and I'm happy to share it with you if you'd like, but we have a list that from the American Community Survey that lists 100 languages in the city that have residents who identified as I speak that language and I need language access. Both of our vendors cover all of those languages. The only kind of deviation that we're still working on is focusing on the American Community Survey when it comes to folks who identify as Native American or have indigenous languages. And so we're still trying to figure out what those languages are because that data isn't fully clear. But we do work closely with 311 and the whole cabinet, and for more information, I'll probably have to get back to you on any other data that you need.
Oh, that's really helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah. Just, so I've really focused on mental health care, and so wanted to talk about mental health care and affordable, affordable housing. Essentially, I think as we think about like fair housing, people are discriminated against for a lot of things, and I was just curious if my dad has struggled with mental health issues like my entire life, and I know that I've often had to step in and be that person helping, and I know a lot of people have had to be that family member for their for folks who are dealing with mental health challenges. Just curious what the city is doing to make sure that people with mental health struggles have access to housing.
Well, that would fall under disability access cases.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So if they were discriminated against because they have a disability, obviously that would be a case that we would welcome. We would take that case. We don't see a lot of those cases in terms of here's how, let me say it this way. Most of the time when we get a disability access case, it's around reasonable accommodation or reasonable modification. That's like 90% of the cases that we see in that protected class category. Usually the person has requested the accommodation or the modification. There are two major categories, and they've been denied. So we would take that case, and usually what happens, those investigations don't go all the way to, say, an administrative hearing before a commissioner. Usually those cases get settled. If we find probable cause to believe that discrimination has occurred, usually the landlord or the property manager will settle the case, and they will get the accommodation that they requested.
Thank you so much. Sorry, one more question. Just curious, there was a closed captioning at businesses ordinance passed in December 2022. I go to a lot of businesses, I go to a lot of restaurants, and I don't always see those accommodations being offered, especially for sports, which I think is something that it should be not only for, and I know that's part of what you guys are looking at, is it's not just about necessity, it's not just about news, it's also about fun and making sure that everyone can sort of equitably access. And I can tell you the last probably 5 places I've been to watch a sports game have not had closed captioning on. And I just don't really know how to advocate. I mean, obviously I've said it to the person who has the remote, but what else can we do?
Yeah, that's really new information to us because we've received very few complaints. I think actually only like 2 or 3 since the ordinance was implemented. But we did do outreach to businesses directly, when the ordinance first passed. We've also purchased a number of information cards, like wallet cards that people can carry with information about the ordinance and the requirements of restaurants and stores, so we can give those to you to give out to constituents. But then also, if you want to actually complain about it, we have a complaint form on our website, And all those complaints that we get, the few that we got, are investigated. And we work with the licensing board to actually send a letter to the business and talk to them about, compliance requirements. And if they don't come into compliance, then we can take next steps, which could ultimately end up in them losing their license for a TV. It's never gotten that far, and we don't want it to get that far, but we really think education and information is the best policy. So we're happy to share those cards with you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner McCosh. I also want to mention, I would love to have that, and I think a lot of our small business owners just don't know. So it's like before, having that conversation before it sort of goes any further is so important.
Yeah, that's going to be part of our training with the Main Streets. Like, we're rolling out a whole training for access on Main Street so the neighborhoods are really accessible. Everything from like captions to like I said, us getting a ramp for like one step. So we'll definitely make sure that's prioritized.
And I just had an idea bulb go off too, because as a district counselor, I'm often meeting with businesses who are asking for us to support their licensing measures. So it would be great for me in those meetings to say, just FYI, this ordinance passed, and I hope that you'll comply because you're asking for a TV.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Commissioner.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilor Durkin. Just set my timer for myself.
Don't give yourself double.
That wouldn't be a bad thing. Director Terrell, well, first of all, thank you everyone up here for all the work that they do. You guys are doing amazing work, and I'm going to continue to advocate that. I think that when we're producing a budget, we need to make sure that all the programs that we're doing as a city needs to be in our budget book, so the people can see all the great work and all the great work that we're doing as departments. This is more of a question for, I guess, everyone on the panel. The permanent employees only increased by a small amount. However, everyone mentioned on their wish list having a lawyer or the need for more capacity. Can you talk to me about why we're only going up a small amount when we're all here advocating for much needed capacity to move our work forward?
I can start with mine. We actually ours is not budgetary that we can't have a lawyer. We actually have a attorney on staff, but he's a policy advisor, not someone that practices law. And there's actually a limitation in the city of if we can do any practice of law for constituents. So most of it's not funding, but more of like policy in the city.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, for us, it would be a funding issue. We would have to pay for a general counsel, we would have to pay for a director of testing, and we would have to pay for a new intake person. That would add to our capacity in incredible ways, because having in-house civil rights attorney, for example, if we needed to get a temporary restraining order, or we needed to go to court to enforce one of our subpoenas, or defend ourselves when we have issued an order and the respondent, usually it's the respondent, that would say we disagree with the order, we're going to take you to court. We need to have an in-house attorney who understands our investigatory process and who is a civil rights attorney and who understands how to argue those kind of cases and defend our orders. It will take resources to make that happen.
I guess my question for you, Director Terrell, was this a budget ask that you made, but we're not seeing it in this budget cycle, maybe somewhere in the future, but, was that a specific ask?
Actually, the nature of my ask was to move all of our investigatory staff onto the city budget. The reason for that was, it was an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We were very concerned about what's going to happen in November in Washington and the status of any federal support for fair housing anywhere in the country. So we felt that, well, why don't we at least try to move our investigatory staff to the city budget. And what that would do is effectively free up the external funds that we spend on those positions and actually allow us to expand our staff capacity. And we calculated what that would cost the city to make that move.
Okay, and that's why we see the decrease of the 46,000 in contracted services? No? Or?
That was because of the $50,000 I mentioned earlier that the council, through their amendment, secured for us to do testing, but we couldn't use it because it was for testers as opposed to a testing program. So I was reluctant to use any of those funds. I didn't want to be accused of misappropriation. It says testers, and that's what you can spend it on. So that's what that 46,000 transfer is about.
All right. And then going back to immigrant advancement, I love the program, the pathway program that you guys are doing for hospitals. Can you talk to me about the success of that program? And also, you know, BTD and Public Works was here today. They said they had 311 positions available. Any thought on expanding it, not only to like city jobs, but you know, different career paths here in the city of Boston?
Yeah, so the African Bridge Network that Ari's talking about, that partnerships, yeah, so we were able to pilot with them a couple years ago, and they were actually able to pivot and scale up to work with the worker empowerment now, so they have a bigger grant through them, which is great, and they're continuing their operations, and we still support them, but they no longer need our funding because they've grown out of it. But thankfully, but then we, from that learning, we actually started practicing that type of modeling where we have internships with different industries, and we actually did it here and do it in the city. We actually have placed 2 interns of folks who were had foreign experience, and they just need an opportunity here of someone giving them a chance. So we had 2 folks that were interning, the adult interns that were paid through Do It, and then actually one of them works for the city now. So we're gonna try different industries in the coming years as we find more partners. Technically, that's kind of what we do with the immigrant youth. I'm hoping to do it more with adults.
Awesome, thank you. And then going back to Director Terrell, I know we've spoken, you know, quite often, just around, you know, fair housing. Can you talk to me how your department works with BPDA, the Article 80 process, to push, you know, some of the work that you have done throughout the years, any anti-displacement tools, policies? Can you tell me how your policy recommendations work with those different organizations and processes?
Primarily through the assessment of fair housing. And now that we have our monitoring committee in place and we have quarterly meetings with 6 or 7 city departments who are responsible for about 95% of the goals and objectives in the assessment of fair housing, that process, as I indicated earlier, is moving forward. We're getting reports every quarter from those departments. We're going to be issuing our first sort of annual report in July, so we'll be able to update the mayor's office and the city council about the progress that the various departments have made so far. That's why we're trying to streamline our reporting mechanism. And on April the 29th, next Monday, is our next quarterly meeting, and we're going to discuss streamlining our reporting system.
Awesome. In that annual report, would there be any policy recommendations, or will it just be reporting out the data and the stats?
We will have some recommendations in there for the various departments where we think they need some improvement, but we want to find out from them what they need in order to improve. What resources, or is it staff? One city department has already indicated to me that they're going to hire a permanent fair housing officer to be a part of their operation. So there'll be somebody permanently there making sure that their fair housing commitments are being met.
And what about broader, like anti-displacement policy tools or policies? Any recommendation around that lens.
Oh, boy, we would need another hearing for that. I've got about 50 recommendations for the city council.
Putting you in the planning advisory council.
Oh, boy, here we go. Yeah, displacement has the potential to be a huge fair housing problem for the city of Boston. Because when you look at the demographics of who is being displaced, it is very clear they are people that are our protected classes.
Right.
So if we don't, from a public policy standpoint, if we don't get the gentrification displacement issue resolved correctly, it could loom into a serious fair housing case, very similar to the case that ended up creating the Fair Housing Commission, where the NAACP sued HUD, and that's how our commission, in a way, came into being in the first place, was because of that lawsuit. Right. We don't want to go down that road. We should nip it in the bud now.
Thank you, and I agree with you, and looking forward to working with you just on that.
Okay.
Councilor Fernandez-Anderson, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll do my best not to keep us here late. Going back to language access, Director Jennifer, I just wanted to point out that I think that you do an amazing job, and I was worried, and I was thinking that we were going to have like a whole big conversation, and I could go department by department, and just sort of paused my questions till then. But I think you're doing an amazing job. I read through your reports and feel confident that it is growing in the right direction. I think that you're doing the best that you can. You have the right responses, that you're going to work with us. The fact of the matter is that there isn't enough in the budget for your department to actually provide, extend that to counselors. I would like to have a conversation with you and sort of talk about how we can work together, and whether it's policy or creating practices that will lead to that. It's my job to figure that out legislatively, and we'll talk soon. And I thank you. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, though, because it was a very sad day, and it was detriment, and I didn't have the resources to figure that out. So thank you. I do want to touch on contracts, though, across the board. I think that I looked up the contracts that you're using, and the company seems to be pretty diverse, and at least one. And this question is also for you, Executive Director Monique. Your contracts are highly not BIPOC, not. I went through every single company, and the highest ones are the ones that are contracted in the largest amounts are not diverse. And so I know that Boston, like in general, if we've already been contracting with a certain company, then it's kind of like the lowest bidder, and there's other implications there. But I want to understand, how is your department doing, or what is your department doing to do better with contracting BIPOC companies?
When you say contractors, do you also mean like nonprofits, or are you talking about like?
Also nonprofits, yeah.
Most of our that's why I want you to be more specific. Are
Sure,
you talking about, is there a specific contract you're thinking about? Because I can, is it like evaluation or something like that?
Your contracts, Immigrant Advancement, Ryan Immigrant Center.
Rian, oh, the director, yeah. I can see. Yeah, so like
$1 million plus $2.8 million, COVID, immigrant, economic, RE, I don't know what RE
so
is.
that one's actually a fiscal sponsor of a coalition that's immigrant-led. They're actually, Rian is like a big entity that it does have the backbone, like the administrative backbone to be able to handle that. And the evolution of our field is that it's becoming more diverse. But because of like they were handling a cash assistance program, for example. Mm-hmm. So that program takes a lot of administrative backbone that a lot of the partners didn't have. But the partners itself is a Massachusetts Immigrant Collaborative. Is actually led by their leaders are BIPOC folks. It's just the fiscal sponsor in that network.
Okay, and it doesn't reflect.
It doesn't reflect there.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's helpful. The other amounts are smaller, not worried.
And most of them, like most of our grantees are nonprofit, like immigrant-led.
Okay, thank you. I mean, it was close to $4 million, so
yeah, I appreciate
very
that.
curious.
Yeah.
Director Jennifer, can you clarify, there's a contract, it says partners, Cape Verdean, Creole, first it's Cabo Verdean, so anytime you're spelling that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But association, is that under contract or are you paying that out of operation? I mean, obviously operation, but it says that they're partners. How do you pay them because they're not under your contracts?
Yeah, so we don't hit the procurement amount for this partnership. But so what we're trying...
So just grants? Like they're considered smaller?
Exactly, exactly. I don't know if you want me to expand.
No, that makes total sense. Thank you.
Of course.
So under 50,000, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And can you tell me about your contracted services, Director Terrell, if you can tell me about Suffolk and what they're doing for the department?
That contract no longer exists. That contract ran out June 30th of last year. We did not renew it.
Okay, and what does Slalom LLC do for you?
To the best of my knowledge, nothing. That may have been a contract that was initiated before I...
Yeah, I see it. Yep, thank you. And Suffolk was 23. Thank you so much.
Right.
In terms of, I mean, the conversation here can go on and on about how important your department is. But you are taking a small cut. I was interested in understanding what's the logic behind that or what happened.
Since I didn't make the cut, the logic behind it, you would have to...
You do not have to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So...
I wouldn't have cut, I would have added.
Well, we've been asking for... I'm advocating officially on record in terms of your testers. I used to call them inspectors because I used to do a small job like that when I was in my 20s. But we've been asking for more of that. You do such an amazing job. Congratulations, by the way, even if it's just HUD. God willing, you're making it national, and you are going to be the example for everyone. And we're just, and I understand that this conversation, could happen offline in terms of how can we continue to advocate for your department. You just need a bigger department, such a small department. And thank you so much for all of you across the board, keeping it across super diverse. But I did have a question for the disability department. Your hiring is, can you, I know it's just like 9 people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to out of 9 people, how do you get the quota, right? Can you tell me a little bit about your aspirations to hire more diversity?
Yes, absolutely. So I will say that we, during the pandemic, we lost 2 staff who were both Black women who spoke multiple languages. They spoke Spanish, Portuguese Creole, and Portuguese. And, Cape Verde Creole and Portuguese. And both of them left because they had children and they were having to work remotely. So it was a great loss to our department. When we did advertise for the other jobs, we just didn't find someone qualified who, was from a more diverse background, but we always look for that. One thing we also do look for is representation from the disability community. So we do have that on our staff as well. And we also have an advisory board that we oversee, and we work on representation from that as well.
What are those positions that are open currently? Of course, I'm Cape Verdean and speak like a bunch of languages, but I know several people like myself who are polylingual as well?
Okay, so we don't have any staff positions open right now, but we do have some advisory board openings coming up, so I can follow up with your office if you'd like to recommend people for that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I really appreciate, now I'm bouncing because now I'm like scared this thing is gonna go off. I really do appreciate Director Monique in terms of, legally not being able to support people with finding jobs, which is illegal. But being able to say, like, this is your right, there are don't ask, don't tell policies, there are all these other policies that you can, that will protect you. Can you tell me if there's been any type of assessment, not a study, not a big thing, but any type of assessment in terms of the need with the numbers of undocumented people and in terms of jobs, like if there's an inventory somehow of jobs that could hire potentially?
No, there hasn't been a study yet, but we are engaging with the community needs assessment this coming year. So we're hoping to engage with undocumented folks to learn more about what they think would be value added to support them navigating their status in the United States. So yes, that's something that we're embarking on in the coming months.
Thank you so much. May I just
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And in terms of, does the city advocate or work with any entities to advocate for improving the slow process of legalization and citizenship?
Yeah, so our policy advisor always tracks federally, state, and even local policies that impact immigrants, and particularly our undocumented community is always looking to think about ways for them to access status. A lot of times, through our legal access grants, a lot of times people also not know that they might have avenues for them to be able to adjust their status. So even through our legal access grants, there's some grantees that focus primarily on they can apply on for people to have general intake for them to figure out what they have access to. So that's some of the avenues that we do. But we also do advocacy. Right now, there's actually a federal bill that's trying to extend what we're doing for new migrants, so giving them some sort of status for also long-term undocumented people, and that's something we're putting some weight behind as well. So there's some policy advocacy that's happening on the federal level, because that's bringing up a lot of questions right now, because a lot of new migrants are also getting different pathways right now for work authorizations. And it's calling into question for undocumented folks who've been here for a long time. What about us? And if you can do it for them, what about us? So that's something constituents have been asking us about. So we have been just tracking down on a federal level, and there's actually a bill that's trying to be moved to support that.
Thank you. And then the question that I asked the last panelist, was it yesterday with equity?
Yes.
Yesterday. It does, and please take this in all good faith, it does feel like each department sort of is the chief of their department, is really independent of this cabinet type kind of, looking from the outside. And I guess I'm wondering, where are you, what are the challenges in terms of, in the cabinet? Is it budget, is it capacity? And where are you in terms of working interdepartmental through your cabinet with intersections, with working on needs for constituents?
Maybe I can start. I think this is something that's really unique and also opportunity, a big opportunity, but also some challenges, because our cabinet is relatively new, and also our department is really mixed in how old our departments are. So there's departments who are still starting up. They're setting the groundwork and setting their foundations, and there's still the departments that have ours is pretty old. My department's been around 26 years, for example. So naturally, we have more infrastructure. So the challenge is really capacity, being able to not staff capacity, but know-how, or people having the same level, being able to engage on something. But what's good is that some departments that are younger can leverage the older departments for organizational development support, or even giving administrative tips, or even helping handle different cases that they might not have the know-how yet. Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities for us to share in that way. And as we're growing in age as a cabinet, we're also learning how to work together more effectively. So I think we improve every time that we engage with one another. And just building relationships, you know, a lot of things have to be run on trust. You have to move at the speed of trust. So that's what I've experienced in my last 2 years. Yeah. But I think, yeah, that makes sense.
I can add a little bit to that. So I think trust is key. Like we've, you know, all of our staff builds up trust with the community residents and community agencies, so we have really strong ties to the community. Also, most of our offices work systemically. We don't provide a ton of programming like human services offices do, so we really work with other departments like throughout the city. So I know my office has been here since 1979, so we have a really good infrastructure. We have a great model of you know, working systemically. Like we have these monthly standing meetings with many different departments, including some of our own. You know, we meet monthly to the leadership team to brainstorm and connect. We've already done trainings together. We collaborate on constituent crises as they come up. So I think just continuing to work, and like Monique said, to bring along the departments that are younger. Black male advancement is, you know, certainly newer, and we know they're doing some great stuff. So I think we can just continue to build our relationship together, and also with the implementation of the equity inclusion officers that are coming on board, I think that will be a help in, you know, the whole city really coming to utilize our expertise.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. This is the last one.
This is the real last one. Go ahead.
Thank you. I guess across the board, if there's a need, do any of your departments work on supplemental grant opportunities outside of the city?
Oh, like getting our own funding outside of cities? Oh, yeah.
For community partners or programs?
Did you?
Yeah, we got a $250,000 grant from the state to install the mezzanine lift in the third floor lobby. We had a grant that paid for the Boston Breaks campaign. That was from the Boston Foundation. And we had a grant that paid for the Boston Public Schools financial empowerment curriculum. So we did have three pretty major grants over the last few years. We don't have anything pending right now, but we are certainly open to looking into those. Again, it's a matter of staff capacity, having to implement the programs once we get the funding, but we're certainly always looking for opportunities.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm aware that part of the funding is grants, but do you have any programs, or are you seeking funding so that you can support partners or community people?
Our grants and contracts line is dedicated to working with nonprofits to execute on the things that we think that's needed to support immigrants. And we also annually have our We Are Boston dinner. It's our fundraising for our external funds. It's kind of like our rainy day and also community fund that we have, that we put out grants for Immigrant Heritage Month, for example. We use that fund so that our partners and our community members can help us create a citywide festival of events throughout the whole month of June, for
But not for programmatic stuff. Like, for example, if there's a nonprofit that's providing services, and you know where I'm getting with this, and they're suffering, and they need funding and supports. Is there opportunity there to figure something out?
Yeah, we give out almost $2 million a year. So that's where all of our, we actually have a couple grants that are being selected right now. Weaving Wellbeing is one of them. We had a record of people applying for that grant, of 29 organizations doing non-clinical mental health support. So we have targeted things we want to focus on. So we have legal access grants, we have promoting citizenship grants, we have Immigrant Heritage Month grants, we have Immigrant Youth Advancement grants, so for them to host immigrant youth at their sites, so provide after-school programs, ESOL. So we have to run on working with nonprofit partners.
Do you have that list that I can have a copy?
Yeah, I can.
Please.
I can get that to you.
Please, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Councilor Fernandez-Anderson. And I'll just have a few more questions. I won't keep you guys past 7 o'clock. No, you guys weren't laughing.
I laughed.
I brought snacks, so I'm ready.
One of the questions is around, I know everyone's having a hard time hiring, and for immigrant advancement, you know, you have the administrator, the program coordinator, the project manager, which is vacant for over 6 months. What are the strategies that are being implemented to kind of address the hiring challenges for these positions?
Yeah, so I chose to prioritize hiring for the organizers first, so I had to do it in batches because hiring equitably takes a lot of work too, you know? So, because our staff is already doing their own work, and then having an equitable hiring process and outreach is actually a challenge. So I've actually was able to implement something that was pretty cool that I felt that for this round of hires, we have 4 positions open, for example. We did an open house for outreach, and we also had a very aggressive LinkedIn and online outreach strategy. We actually was able to get over 500 people apply for 4 jobs in 3 months. So I think I want to use that for the next round of hires that I'm going to do to fill those vacancies.
Awesome. And then what's your hiring goal for this year? Like, how many people do you plan on hiring?
So we have 16, well, we have 3 more positions that we're going to post, and that will make us fully staffed for the year.
Awesome. And let me see what my last question is. Yes. Another question for immigrant advancements. There's a program called To Immigrants with Love, the mural program. There's a park that we're doing over inside the district, Ceylon Park. It's a soccer field, but right across the soccer field, there's this bridge where people usually hang out because the field is, too small for how many people come and play soccer. I think this is a great opportunity to have a mural over there. We'll love to work with your department on executing that. Just trying to find out if it's city-owned, state-owned, but I think it's a great spot for a mural.
I would love to follow up with you on that because I've been talking to Arts and Culture about their program for city murals. So I would love to work with you on that to identify particular strategic places where community members would love to see something like that.
Okay, so this Immigrants with Love is different from Arts and Culture?
Oh, it's a collaboration. I don't know that it was before my time
Got
that
it.
they did that mural, but I know that Arts and Culture now has a program now that they do specific targeted murals for the city. I'm reaching out to them to have targeted or immigrant inclusive programming in arts. And, yeah.
Awesome. And is it Dwayne Watts? I don't think there's a Dwayne Watts in here for public testimony.
No, he's a part
Mr. Watts was here earlier, but he left.
He left, okay. All right, well, thank you guys again. Thank you to all my council colleagues for showing up. Big shout out to central staff. Shout out to my team, to the officers here, and everyone who signed up for public testimony. Just want to say thank you. And this hearing on dockets number 0670 through 0678 is adjourned.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.